Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Colum Tyrrell podcast. It is terror. It is terrorist season here in the United States of America, the US of A, land of the free, home of the brave. It's all systems go. It's January. You know, you gotta get your terrorism in. Having said that, it was New Year's Eve, wasn't it? So, I think this is, call me old-fashioned here, or call me maybe an optimist. Do you ever watch sport? Or, I think sport's a good example. Do you ever watch someone do something else, and then you have a natural instinct to go, oh, I could do that. Oh, that's not that hard. Like, you see an actor and you go, how hard is it to be like, ooh, you know? Get out of my room! I'm an actor. I like that with sports. You know, most sports, you look at sports and you go, how hard is it to throw a javelin? Until you actually try to throw a fucking javelin. But I kind of feel with terrorism that I'd be putting up numbers. I'd be putting up big fucking numbers, man. I believe that to be true. Oh, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube right now, I have a green screen set up, and hopefully there's some images or something on it. I don't know. I've never used a green screen before, so I don't even know. Head over to YouTube/Colum Tyrrell to subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Oh, actually, make sure you're hitting the bell thing. Sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt my flow with this shit, but loads of people, the fucking view, and mostly my fault with an inconsistent posting. Sorry, new year, new me, gonna be better. The episodes aren't getting shown to the people that are subscribed. So if you would, click there's like a setting where you click on my page and then you hit the bell. So then when the episodes do come up, you'll be notified on YouTube, all right? I don't think you get a text in your pocket, but I think when you log in, it will show up, right? That's all you got to do. And you can head off to patreon.com/Colum Tyrrell for some extra content, if you will. All right. So hopefully this green screen now is like whizzing by with images and stuff, you know? And if anyone is good with making green screen stuff, I need a producer possibly that would, like, what I would do is I'll record the episode and then I'll send it to you, and then you'll make videos on the green screen that match whatever bullshit is falling out of my face. Is that okay? If anyone wants that, I'll pay you. I'll pay you American USD. United States dick. I will pay you to do that job for me. I know, yeah, terrorism shit all over the place now, but I think if I did it, I'd be putting up numbers. Is that crazy? It's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to, you know, shoot some people, but I feel like if I'm doing it, I'm going for numbers. I'm looking at the Vegas. I'm looking at Pulse. I'm even looking at, like, maybe the Oklahoma bombing. Ooh. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. I'm going to be doing some good terrorism. I don't feel like driving through Bourbon Street in New Orleans on New Year's Eve while and bitches are flashing their tits for beads. Like, that's a sacred place. Women are getting their tits out for beads. Bees? Beads. Bees? Beads. Women flash their knockers for beads. And then actually think about the symbolism of New Orleans. You got the trumpets. You got tits. You got outdoor drinking. You got debauchery. And here we have this fucking terrorist run some people over because they can't afford to go to a better party somewhere else in the country. That's an attack. That's an equivalent of shooting up a mosque. You know, that's the equivalent. That's the white people's Mecca. Is heading out to New Orleans, but what did he get? 12 with a car. I guess the question would be, can I afford to shoot as many people? If I had the money, like I would, it's not financial. Like, how much did the guy in Vegas, how much did that cost him to do? Like, you need money to put up those numbers. You need money, again. So I guess, actually, now that I've come full circle, and I do hate the rich, and I hate people who achieve things because they've got a lot of money, you know what I mean? There's a lot of comedians who aren't funny, but they're fucking daddy bankroll the early years of their career, so they were able to achieve like stuff. You know, they just like bought themselves a little movie or whatever. So I've come full circle, and actually, you know what? Even terrorism is all about we just going out and doing it. You know, don't worry about the numbers. You know, people are too bogged down by the stats these days. Just as long as you're doing it the way you want to do it, that's what matters. That's what truly matters, actually. You know, empty pockets never held a man back. Only empty hearts and empty heads. Okay, so if you fucking have to rent a U-Haul and drive through a Christmas village to get your terrorism done, that's fine. You will get those 72 virgins yourself. Is that what they say, the 72 virgins? But I tell you what, the guy who blew up the Tesla in Vegas, that was bad. That was bad terrorism. You killed yourself. Nothing happened. The Tesla, as far as I know, Teslas do more damage when you don't try to blow them up with a bomb. If you just drive a Tesla long enough, eventually you're gonna run over a family on their way home from fucking daycare. Eventually there's gonna be a mother and a pram crossing the road that your car doesn't recognize, and it's gonna mow them down. You're more likely to kill people just being a cunt driving around in your obnoxious fucking Tesla truck. What type of fucking retard gets a Tesla truck? Truly, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. I'm just, it's, you know, it's arbitrary, but you take it away. I can't trust you. If you're that reckless with money to buy that fucking hideous piece of shit, how did Elon Musk even invent that fucking thing? Was he just kicking a can of paint down the road or something, and then he was like, oh, that's a good shape? That's another one, by the way. Elon Musk, the fucking dick riders of that fella. You are a fucking loser. If you love Elon Musk, he's a fucking autistic rich kid retard. I get it. He has something to do with rockets. And he hates Muslims, I guess. But if you're a fan of that, you're a fucking loser. As far as I can tell. If you are a fan of Elon Musk, and no one's criticizing him, because he's like comedians I know will not come out and just go, Elon Musk is a fucking, I'm trying not to say curse as much as I used to. He's a fucking homo. Have you seen his body? He looks like in Men in Black when that guy just fucking crawls inside someone else's skin. His body is shaped like the fucking truck, the cyber truck. And comedians are not criticizing this fucking loser. First of all, yeah, he's the richest man on earth. Straight away, I don't like you. I just don't like you. I don't care who you fucking are. If Shaquille O'Neal became the richest man on earth, I would hate him. But until then, he's the man. And Elon Musk stinks. It's fucking crazy. And then Rogan there, he's a genius. So all comedians I know, that because they have to fucking bow down to Rogan, no one can say anything about Elon Musk. Fuck it, he stinks. Jordan Peterson is a fruit. These people stink. Can we go back to criticizing all of these fucking losers? Anyone that has more money than me is a fucking loser, and they stink, and they don't. And that's that's like a Starbucks employee for me. They stink. We all have to pretend like they don't. 'Cause Joe Rogan is friends with them. Let Joe Rogan have his little think piece situations where he smokes weed with Elon Musk. Isn't that cool? Elon Musk has he done anything truly? Is he a fucking genius? Or does he just have a weird accent? He has this weird South African fucking accent. Now everyone's turned on Elon Musk, letting in these talking about all the Indians taking over Silicon Valley. PU. But that's what happens, whiteys. By the way, that's what happens. Let the Indians be the CEOs of the tech companies because they're better at it. These are the facts. You go back to your vlogging, right? There's not many Indian men vlogging. Americans are good at vlogging. Americans are good at dancing on TikTok. And Indians are good at fucking throwing shit at each other on the streets. I did an interview with you. Tell me, give me a sign of some problem solving. Me and my friends could not get laid, so we found a woman on a bus, and we took turns raping her. And what was so special? It showed great teamwork. Everyone's coming after fucking Elon Musk. Good. Fuck Elon Musk. Fuck the Cybertruck. I don't know what's going on. There's a weird thing in America now where being a conservative is like cool. There's just this wave of, anti-vax people who weren't around during COVID. I was there. There wasn't this many people. There wasn't as many people. Trust me. If you went on fucking on Twitter right now, every single cunt under the sun is pretending. I bet you fucking, I don't know, 90% of the people that are like, fuck Fauci and all these haven't got vaxxed. I did it. And you know what? I'd do it again because I don't fucking read into things. I go with the flow. Some of us have to be sheep, and some of you people have to lose sleep about nothing. You read into the Cybertruck thing. Find out what's going on. You let me know what kind of inside CIA doesn't make sense thing. You go figure that out, all right? I'm rewatching Squid Games, and I don't remember who's who. England is in turmoil right now. Evidently, 10 in every 5 women have been sexually assaulted by Pakistan rape gangs, and it's not good over there. It's not good over there. Statistically, you and I listening right now have been raped by a Pakistani. This could be Rotterdam or anywhere, Liverpool or Rome, 'cause Pakistanis are everywhere. Leave our kids alone. Please stop raping our daughters. Don't rape my daughter. Yeah, so that's tough. Sorry if you got caught up with that shit. You know. Getting raped by a Pakistani. That's it. If you get if you get raped by a gang of Pakistanis, that's an even longer shower. Oh my god! You think rape showers are bad? Make it a fucking 7 Pakistani men. And I know. I hope that look. All jokes aside, SA is not funny, and I want to apologize for being inappropriate here. You know, I can't be demonetized, so and you know, numbers are so low anyway that if I lost you now at this point, I truly couldn't give a fuck. I was just in London. Hello, oi oi. I've been to London before. This is my first time. I went home. I went home to Christmas. I went home to Ireland for Christmas, and I went home to Ireland for Christmas, and unfortunately for my beautiful fiance, she's getting sick of me dragging her back to the homeland. You know, because that kind of counts as her like one. This is how good life is as an American, even when you're poor. This is like one of her yearly holidays. So she's like, so once a year she comes back to me, with me to Ireland. I try to go twice. She comes once. Blah blah blah. So this is like just too much for her, because she's like, these are all my traveling years just gobbled up by your parents. And I go, sorry, they don't live in Italy. But so she'll be tagged on a few days in London. You sound like you're from fucking London. Well, no one sounds like they're from fucking London. That's the problem. You know that expression? You sound like you're from London. No one sounds like they're from London because no one is there. I went to London. I didn't. The best thing about London is that there's not a single English person there. There's not a single person who speaks English. They're not white. There's no such thing as Cockneys. There's no white English people in London left. They are not there. That accent you hear of, like when the people talk about the Great Replacement, I'm not gonna lie, go over to England. You think you're in fucking Mumbai. I swear to God, I'm not lying. It's true. And like, it's just an observation. I don't really give a fuck. I think, you know, may the best race win. And if they just come in and fucking win, that's the way it is. Sorry. Sometimes you're gonna get replaced by brown people, and that's just what happens. They'll be replaced by brown people, but we'll all just mix together. There'll be some sort of weird mix type of thing. Just some nice mix. Like in South Park, where you're yellowish, brownish, reddish color, blackish, brownish, yellow color. You know, we'll all just sort of be this weird kind of a thing. Who gives a fuck? The computers are taking over before any of this is going to happen, right? The Jews will not replace us. The computers are going to replace us. It's already happening. They've already figured it out. Yeah, I was in London, and there's no Cockney accents in London. There's no like, oi, oi, welcome to London. All right, fellas. What are you looking at? That kind of London, if that is even Cockney, I don't know. But that kind of London Cockney accent is gone. It doesn't exist. They've been wiped out. It's all like, bluff. You get me, bluff. It's like Ali G. They're literally all they talk like Ali G. What was it, man? Yo, blood. What are you looking at, blood? They have that accent. They sound silly. I don't know. Something happened with Jamaicans. Jamaicans came over. I went, the batty boy. Me dick work. Me dick work, man. I worked with a Rastafarian in the Bronx. And he was like just the most Jamaican man you've ever met in your life. Like if Jamaica was just like, if you added this guy to a sitcom, everyone like, there's no one's that Jamaican. This was a Jamaican. He was a Rastafarian. He never worked. He never did a drop of work, by the way. I will say that Jamaicans, they know how to be lazy. Just so you know, I don't want to be. This is just anecdotal, but of all the laziest cunts I've ever met in my life, Jamaican are the most lazy. Every single day I'd be working away and they'd be like, hey man, we get paid per hour, man. Take your time, slow it down, man. We get paid per hour. And I'd be like, yeah, well, I get paid more than you fucking... Yeah, but I can't. All right, that was just racist. That wasn't ironic anymore. That was just me being a bigot. Anyway, he'd be sitting there leaning against his fucking... He had 19 kids, this guy. And I remember one of the lads at work was like, yo, I can't even remember his name was, Billy or whatever. He's like, yo, Billy, you ever eat pussy? You go, no, me no eat pussy. Me dick work, man. Me no faggot. He go, faggot. Me dick work. You know, like in his eyes was that you can't get hard. If you can't get hard, it means you're gay. And so the only reason to ever eat pussy is because your dick isn't hard. And he had like fucking 12 kids or something. Me dick work. Anyway, that's how they all sound in London. I had a lot of fun there. I did real tourism shit. I actually did real tourism shit. I went to the Tower of London. You know, where they used to torture people. Very interesting stuff. That tower, the Tower of London, was like essentially like a fortress, a castle fortress. I don't know what the difference is, by the way, between a chateau and a castle and a fortress and a palace. I really have no idea what the fucking definitive difference is. You know, like when they say this is a church, that's a chapel, that's an abbey, that's a monastery, I guess. A monastery is like where priests live. But, like I don't really know what the difference is between that shit. And it's the same with a castle and a fort and all. So I don't really know the intricate details of what that is. But anyway, I went to the Tower of London, which was built by, or ordered to be built by, William the Conqueror. William the Conqueror was a Norman, and the Normans, to my understanding, the Normans were the descendants of the Vikings that conquered Europe. And at which point then they took over England from their distant cousins. I can't really understand. I don't know. It's so confusing. By the way, you go back in time long enough, there was like 15 people. There was 15 people. Right? When you hear about like conquering this land and the Normans and the area of Burgundy and is it Batavia and all these type of places, like there was no one living around. There was no humans alive. Anyway, that was built in the year 1000 and change, right? The year 1000 and change. William the Conqueror, he defeated the English royalty, and he said, I own this place now. I am William the Conqueror. I have conquered you, and let me build the Tower of London. And they built that place over like 100 years. It took 100 years. They built this huge, big fucking fortress, and they built a moat around the fort, which was pretty funny because they built a moat around the fort, but they didn't. When they built the moat, they didn't. They fucked up the plumbing. So they built this huge, big fucking fortress, and they built a huge moat, which is like 15 feet deep, to prevent attackers. And they didn't. So inside this fortress, this castle, there's like a little mini village where they have a few hundred people or so. I'd imagine maybe more inside that fort. But because of the plumbing, they fucked up the plumbing, that all the piss and the shit just went into the moat. It wasn't intentional. It was a mistake. And it's not like you can just ring up 1-800-plumbers and go fix my fucking plumbing. It's like, no, this will take centuries to fix. This is a big problem. We do not have enough slaves to rebuild this building. But apparently that worked for 500 years. They just had shit and piss For 500 years, they had piss and shit as a moat. Could you? Oh my God. I've been going into fucking porta potties when I worked in fucking construction and just the smell of fucking bollocks. Anyway, so there you go. That was an accidental one. But what I found interesting, what I was trying to think is, when I watch these things, right? And when I go on a tour and I watch these things, I try to envision, because it was 1,000 years ago. It was the year 1060, right? And that's when there was a conquer. So I don't know where my family was then. I don't know where my bloodline was then. I think, honestly, this is what I kind of come to terms with, that your ancestors are only important for maybe 100, 200 years. And previous to that is so far diluted down. You're such a small percentage of that person that it doesn't count. We're all kind of related to that person. Right? So I don't know where my family was. I don't know if they were the English getting defeated. I don't know if they were the William the Conqueror and his Norman people. I don't know if they were the people building the castle. I don't know if the people who were getting murdered. I don't know what part of that place they were. I don't know if they were even in England, if they were only in Ireland, if they were Celts. Who the fuck knows? All I know is this, right? There's a couple of things. When they say William the Conqueror conquered England, there was so few people. It wasn't like this huge, drawn-out kind of fucking war. The city of London at the time had a population of 20,000 people. Right? That means half of them were probably kids. Fucking half of them, like another quarter was fucking old people. Half of them were bitches. So when they fought a war, they literally showed up with, they got the ships over from France, right? And they had like 3,000 people. That's like a popular high school in America. Imagine just taking over all of England with like 4 ships. You and your boys go, we loaded 3,000 people. There's more people at a fucking Caitlin Clark game than the amount of population. Like the population back then 1,000 years ago, the whole world was so small that you could really just take over an entire area. You would just march in with 200 of your friends and you'd chop the head off some local big dude and go, all right, I own all this land. See you in 20 years when you finally, by the time it takes you to organize a response, it will be 20 years. Anyway, what I was trying to figure out was where are my people around, you know? And then this is what I looked into it. How many generations goes back 1,000 years? Okay. How many? So if you've got yourself, right? That's one. Then you got your parents, right? That's 2. So that's 1 generation is your parents. Then you got their parents. That's 2 generations, but then that's 4 people. Then you got their parents. That's 2 generations. So it's 8 people. Plus the 4, plus the 2, whatever, right? So that compounds. Then you go back to their parents. So that's another 2. And then your great-great-parents. When you keep multiplying that back, you have to go back 38 generations or something like that. Right? You got to go back, by the time you go back 1,000, so let's say the average person their dad was like a 25 over the course of the years, you have to go back so many generations that I worked it out. I asked ChatGPT to work it out, that the amount of ancestors you would have to have is 1 billion plus. It's like you can't even quantify how many humans you have to have had to be around by 1,000 people, right? It wasn't even the population of Earth at the time, right? So obviously that means, look, there's obviously some situations here where you start folding back amongst yourself. There is like incest involved. Not the good kind, like with your fucking sexy cousin. Like, I mean, like, you know, like distant cousins. Eventually you're going to have to fuck each other. But the point being is, there's like, sometimes they do these DNA tests and they tell you like you were fucking you're an ancestor of like Charlemagne, but like their bloodline is so spread out that like everyone is. We're all kind of related. It doesn't take that long for humans to all be related. So whenever you listen to any history, there's a chance that you are involved in that somehow. Anything that involves like white people somehow, your blood is in there. All right. Was that interesting? I actually, I kind of confused myself there, and I got a fucking stupid text about fucking nothing. Some of the questions you get texts off when are crazy. I wanted to talk about Churchill and the war rooms, but we're running late. We're running over here on this. Let me get into the questions, and then I will head off to Patreon, and we'll talk about New Year's Eve and Churchill's war rooms. And what else did I do in London? Windsor Castle. The royal family's a good one. Yeah. Okay, let's get into some questions here. In order to get your questions answered by me, the king of podcasting, you got to go over to patreon.com/Colum Tyrrell. Sign up for some extra content there. It's only $1 a month. Or if you sign up for the year, you can get it for $10 for the year. What's $10? Is nothing. Nothing. I wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even notice. You wouldn't even fucking notice $10 is gone. Although the $10 for the year thing may not last too long, because I don't feel like being committed to something for a year. You know, if you sign up for the year, that means I have to do a year's worth of content. And then, like, will it ever end? Will it ever fucking end? Can I move on with my life? Okay. And as always, please make your questions interesting. And you can win a shirt. You can win a t-shirt. The 1008, the local 1008 t-shirt. I've shown you what they look like on previous episodes. Actually, I ordered some. I'll post about this on Instagram, but I ordered a bunch of merch, and I'm gonna send it out. I'm going to send it out to people, but I ordered too many like smalls. You know, I ordered some mediums, but the sweaters, the jumpers, as we say in Ireland, they run small. They are a European medium, which means you're not a big fat fuck. It means your ankles don't. In Europe, people their ankles don't hurt. Right? We need RFK Jr. in here. We need RFK Jr. in here to fucking clean up this country. I'm going. We're going to make Pepsi illegal. Wendy's. We're gonna lynch Wendy. All right, so yeah, get your questions in. You can win a free t-shirt, and if you just want if anyone wears small, hit me up and I'll just send you the jumper. All right, this one comes in from Andrew Husted. Collie, Andrew, I'd like your view on a situation. Perfect. No better person than me. I recently lost at drinking and driving. That's pretty funny. But I actually don't drinking and driving is one of the few things in this world that I don't do. I'm not judging you for it. But I don't have many ethics, and I don't have much tolerance for the rules. I kind of don't give a fuck about most things. You know, I'll just sort of I don't care about I just don't respect the law because I'm so goddamn fucking cool. But drinking and driving is just one thing. I think in Ireland it's so strict. It's so fucking strict. Drinking and not driving. My dad, Raging Aiden. Raging Aiden got his license removed back in the early 90s or the 80s or something, and he was driving home drunk. And he had he had like 10 beers under the fucking bonnet, you know. But there used to be a time, my dad told me, when he grew up in the fucking 70s, like, you know, drink driving was just common. It was not even against the law, I don't think. And in Ireland, if you go to any of the pubs in Dublin, all the pubs, the old pubs, they have huge big car parks that are empty now because you're not allowed to drink and drive. But when those pubs were built in the 50s, they needed huge big car parks. And there was a time my dad told me when he'd be driving home from the pub and you'd be swerving and out of the lanes, and the fucking guards, the cops, would pull you over, and they'd put you in the passenger seat, and then they'd drive you home. They'd get your address off you, and they go, "You can't be driving in that state. Move over there." And they would drive you home. And I think that still goes on in rural Ireland, because in rural Ireland, obviously, it's rural. Look, these are just the problems. Look, you know, if you live in a place where they don't have Chipotle, in like the rural parts of the world, you should just be allowed to drink and drive. That's kind of part of the deal. You live in a shit part of the world where there's nothing but farmyards, and farmyard. Yeah. So you should be able to drink and drive. So anyway, in Ireland we don't do it. And when I got my first license, I believe, if I remember, you're either allowed to have 2 pints and they cut it down to 1, or you're allowed to have 1 pint and then they cut it down to half a pint. But Ireland's strict. Ireland is fucking strict on the drink and drive. And anyway, and you call it Dewey. It's like a laughable thing over there. Oh, I got a couple of DUIs. Like in Ireland, you get 1 DUI and your license is gone for 10 years. You're just off the roads. That's the end of it. There's no like, sorry, I was going through divorce or whatever fucking victim horseshit you have in this country. Because I do believe if you get in the car drunk and you crash and you kill another human, that's life. I think that's the death penalty. I swear to God, that's how I think it's an unexcusable behavior, right? We told you, you're getting in a car that we fucking evidently have seen as a fucking weapon, and then you kill someone. Like, I can accept negligence in certain stuff, you know what I mean? You fucking... You swing a left real quick without looking in your inside mirror, and then you run over like a delivery driver. That happens. Sometimes a little Mexican man on an electric moped gets run over by you because you aren't looking in but that happens. But if you get in a car after a few fucking too many Baileys at Christmas and you fucking crash into a family, you deserve the death penalty. That's sort of just the way I see it is. Anyway, all right, sorry. Let's get back into this question, Andrew. Collie, I'd like your view on a situation. I recently lost at drinking and driving and acquired my first DUI after falling asleep and crashing. Like, Jesus Christ. I've fallen asleep while not drunk. Shout out Progressive Insurance. Okay, here we go. Shout out Progressive, as they paid out more than what I originally purchased my GTI for. There you go. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Not all these insurance companies are as bad as they say, you know? License will be gone for the next year. I refuse the breathalyzer test. Please never refuse. Okay. I don't really know the laws. And I have a hefty amount of cash I'm sitting on. Okay, so you totaled the car, your license is gone, and now you got a year, and now you just got a bunch of cash. How much? And how much is a GTI? What are we talking? Brand new GTI? What is that? Someone tell me. 60. I'm just on a guess. 60,000 American dollars, but I could be off by so much. Obviously, I'll take care of what I need to in order to clear the situation. Don't know what that means. But what would you do with the remaining amount? I'm leaning towards keeping it in my Fidelity account. I don't know what that means. And collect interest on the cash the next year. Could always put it on black. Love you, Collie, up the fucking rat. Well, you're going to need a car, right? You're going to need a car. So what type of money are you talking about here? Obviously, I'm gay when it comes to this. Like, if you have that money to burn, go nuts. Go nuts. Go get some fucking, the pink slips. Go on, what was that Reddit page with To the Moon? Where all the retards would just like lose all their money. Wall Street Bets. Go on Wall Street Bets and just tell them. Throw it out there and go, hey lads, I've got 50 grand here. That's on my lap, and I need to make some puts, and I need to make some calls, and I need some real low level pink slips. Go nuts, bro. Go fucking nuts. Try to predict some shit with Trump. That's what I would do too. Trump's about to come in. What do we think? What markets are going up? What are going down? Really go nuts on the calls and the puts. Better than going to the casino. The casino is there's no element of learning from your mistakes. You know what I mean? You go to the casino, you put it on black. Next time you want to go, you go, oh, I lost last time, I'll put it on red. The puts and the calls and all this type of shit, you can probably learn some stuff there. But realistically, quite simple. Just a market tracker. Just invest in some sort of hedge fund. And that's but good luck out there, and I hope you learned your lesson, Andrew. No more getting fucked up or falling asleep. Right? You're lucky you didn't kill anyone. And I don't listen, fellas. Each to their own. You do it if you think you can drive home safe. Drunk, that's fine. But if you kill someone, you get killed. Also, those are my rules. All right. Good question, Andrew. Good question. All right. Which was the other question? We had a question here. Let me find out. This one, a question in from a guy called Rick. Oh, here we go. This is Simply Rick. Simply Rick. Great name for something. If your name is Rick and you want to create a band or a podcast, Simply Rick is a great fucking name. All right, here we go. Hello, Collie. You're the best podcaster, and fuck guests. Yeah, fuck guests. What have they ever done for anybody? Right? Have a look at my YouTube numbers, folks. And sure, they're down in the dirt. They're the lowest they've ever been. And that's bad. That's mostly because of my inconsistent posting. Right? I'll take the blame. But I've no guests, so technically, in it's like dog years. A podcast that doesn't have guests is actually like 100 times. If this was me and 4 friends sitting around a table, the numbers would be through the roof. But it doesn't count. It doesn't fucking count. You look at my biggest numbers. When I had Dan Soder, we had an episode that had 70,000 views when we had Dan Soder on. Does that count though? Does that count? I don't think it does. We're living in a fucking dream world, lads, if we think that counts, right? Solo Collie is the only true, and I'm sure a lot of the episodes won there. Sure, there's a little bit of rambling in here. But at least I'm on my own. At least I'm failing on my fucking own. Do you know what I'm saying? At least Daddy didn't line my pockets. Okay? At least I don't have to rely on fucking Bert Kreischer bringing me on tour or some shit because you know what I'm saying? I'm down here. I might fail, but I fail on my own fucking terms. All right? Fuck everyone else. And these are the facts. Your hands are soft. If you have guests on your podcast, your hands are fucking soft. Let me see the fucking... You've no back pain. You've got no nothing. Fucking guests. Every week it's different. Who the fuck is listening to that? Right? Unless it's an actual interview, I'm not interested. Hey guys, I have a weekly guest. You know why? Because I'm too difficult to find someone to work with. Hey guys, I got a weekly guest. Because maybe you'll just be fucking distracted enough. Maybe they'll bring in some views for me. Hey guys, I got a weekly guest. The weekly guests die out. That's the issue. Have a look at weekly guests are all well and good for the first fucking year. Then what happens is try get fucking Mark Norman on a 5th time, 6th time. He can't. He's busy. He's busy comparing things. He's out there. He's not doing your podcast 6 times and you can't. Doesn't count. If Mark Norman comes on your podcast and you get 100,000 views, they're not your views. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. Everything I just said is I'm just criticizing myself here. Anyway, coming in from Rick, big fan of the pod. Anyways, the fact my parents are going to die soon makes me want to jump out of a window. You sound very like a girl. How do you cope besides having a bitch? That's inappropriate. This is written by a chick. Or do you want them dead? Thanks, but all right. I don't know why there's the only 2 issues. But yeah, your parents are gonna die, so that's going to happen. Unless your parents are that weird millionaire fella, you know, with the hair plugs. Who's that billionaire? And he's trying to keep himself young. Have you seen that fella? Some billionaire, and he wakes up and he has like octo glasses and he. He shines light and he takes 69 pills a day and he's having like, plasma. He sucks the plasma out of his kids' bones and sticks them in his so that he can look younger. And listen, I like the guy. I get it. Everyone to be healthy. He probably feels great. Like, you fucking get plasma taken out of your 19-year-old son's bones and injected into yours. You're going to be... You're gonna be fucking jacked. But that guy's out. That guy's like needs some social skills. That guy's autistic as fuck. Like, you get younger, but you're still a fucking retard. I want to live forever, but you're such a fucking loser. Like, you're not. It's not like some washed up college, some washed up fucking 40-year-old car salesman who was like a high school athlete. You know what I mean? He was the quarterback and prom king. His name was Chad, and he was fingering some fucking perfect 16-year-old cheerleader, That fucking weirdo. He's like, I want to live forever. I want to be younger again. He was always a fucking dork. So unless they're your parents will die, and it probably won't be like nice. It won't be a situation where they just... All right, son, I'm going to bed. I just want you to know I've always loved you. And then they kiss you on the forehead. And then he went out in his sleep dreaming about, It's not. It's going to be a long, drawn-out situation of them lying in a bed and shitting their pants going... You walk in and go, you okay? He goes... It's going to be horrible. They're going to forget who you are. They're going to have arthritis. It's going to be... no bueno. And the one that you like is going to die first too. The other one that needs the most help, they'll be around after for some reason. And that's it. These are just the inevitable facts of life. So, to go back to a previous episode, I think that we should have like a mandatory age where you're not allowed to live any way after that age. That's my idea for like how to fix society. No one needs to be 80, right? Honestly, I'm not lying. I'm 34 now. 65. If you're 65 and older, I take everything you do and say with a grain of salt. I kind of don't feel like you should be anywhere doing anything. Have you talked to people of that age? That's like, if you could be 32 and you have a geriatric pregnancy. If you're 65, you are a dinosaur. Like I see my parents now. They're that age, 65, 70. They're cooked. They're away with the fairies. They don't know anything. They don't know how to use anything. They're just confused all day. Their opinions are dumb. They got weird little quirks. You get old and you've developed weird little OCD and stuff like that. Oh, don't wash that cup with the hot water because You should be dead. You should be dead. The human brain is not meant to be. You're well past your peak. 65, you're well past your peak. So I think we should have, like I've talked about this before, ignosium. That's that. Wow, that was a great word, if I said it correctly. But 65 is plenty. I think 75 is a nice cutoff in society. I think we should all have a mandatory cutoff date, 75. So none of this, I'm worried they might go. No, they are going to go. And they'll have their savings spent perfectly. They'll have the reason we don't want to keep them around is so that we can pretend, oh, you'll live to 100. And then when they fucking slip and smack their head off the sink at 82, you get all the inheritance. Honestly, I think society would be a better place. Could someone who knows economics tell me about the actual answers here for this? Because everyone's complaining now. People these days aren't having enough kids. We have like more old people than we're having young people, and eventually something's going to happen. Who cares? You know what? Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Order a fucking Domino's and have a Bud Light and watch some TV. Like that is, in the grand scheme of history, of every single generation of humans in history, we have it so good. Have a warm shower. Eat some chocolate cake. Whack off to some interracial porn. Take some drugs and just fucking laugh at stuff. Giggle at things. There's worse things in life. We have it so good. We just have it so good. Who cares? Who cares if the world ends? We got to not be part of that. We are in the greatest time of any humans ever. Ever. Maybe about 20 years ago wasn't too bad. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. How do I cope with that? I don't know. Just grow up. Get over it. Make the most of now. Get the questions in. There's ask. I saw a thing online somewhere about like questions to ask your parents before they die. Google that. I genuinely recommend that. If I can be sincere for a second, Google questions to ask your parents before they die. Find out who they are. Especially if you're at the older age now and you can finally be honest. You go, what was going through your brain then? You know, because parents spend so much time like lying to their kids, or at least portraying this image of, you know, your parents when you're a baby, they just know everything. They rule the world. They control everything, and they give off that impression. But the truth is, they're like anyone else. They're just like walking around going, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" So that would be interesting. I should do that the next time I go home. Questions to ask your parents before they die and get to know them. Truly get to know who they were. Find out some stuff you didn't know about them. That's always interesting. Find out about their exes and things like that. Because your mother probably fucked a few dudes before she got filled. We don't want to know about it, but your mother probably fucked a Puerto Rican man. You never know that. But ask him. Ask her about that one weekend in New Orleans, you know? Find out what they do differently. Find out what they like. That's stuff. Real interests. Find out stuff. This is another interesting one. My mad did that with her dad when my man, our sisters, I just found out when my granddad turned 70. My mother and her siblings, they asked my granddad if there was anything he had never done before. And he had never been to London or something like that, and I always wanted to go to London. So they brought him to fucking London. Back when it was white. Back when it was a white place. So I'm going to do that same shit with my parents, actually. That's a good one. Ask them, is there anything you've never done that's achievable? And see if you can do that with them. That would be a nice one. Or do you want them dead? No, I don't want them dead. But I'm also not a fucking fanook. All right, that's the end of the podcast. I'm going to head straight over to Patreon for part 2. Get it right now. It's fucking free. There's a free trial available right now. You can sign up and get it for a 7-day free trial. And be honest, 95% of people that sign up for the free trial end up sticking around. These are the facts. I can't lie. Wouldn't lie about it. And if you want, I'll have some tour dates listed on the screen soon enough. All right, that is it, everybody.
Tony Atlas, I am the real Mr. USA. I'm the real Mr. Universe. The only reason I didn't win that contest was because I was around the world kicking people's butts. Well, look into my eyes, soul man. Look into my eyes, because I'm coming out after you. You ain't nothing but a souped-up spider monkey, boy. I can do anything better than you, and let me tell you something. When you step in that ring on my home ground, the place that I've owned since January 1st, 1980, Madison Square Garden, you're stepping into a lion's den. And when I snap your skinny little neck, you're going to know who's your maker. I'm the real Mr. USA, and I'm going to make you say Uncle Tom in front of everybody, boy.